What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special Alarm Fantasy Football. It's draft week, baby. Here on Alarm Fantasy Football, it's draft week everywhere. We know that. And I'm Howard Bender, and we are about to embark upon an amazing 12-team Underdog best ball draft live right here on the show. If you guys are not part of Underdog, you better get in now because we're doing this draft again tomorrow, and then we're doing another one on Thursday. So go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use that promo code ALARM. They will match your deposit 100% up to $100, and then you can just hit up us, the rest of us, me, Coop, Kev, and we'll get you into one of these drafts tomorrow. So, oh baby, let's talk to we got the people here. Listen, I'm just warning you all right now. It is hot in here. It is hotter than Kevin Tompkins taking a running back in the first round. It is hotter than the way Britt Flinn sounded on ESPN Chattanooga, and it is hotter than the baby poop smear on Coop's face right now. Coop, you got a little something right there.
Not again.
Okay.
Unbelievable. I wouldn't even
What
notice.
is up,
I haven't
guys?
slept. I haven't slept
How
in a
is
million
everybody?
hours.
I don't want to hear you want. Listen, you know what? You procreate. It's your fault. It's not our fault. It's your fault now. Sorry,
True.
but I now.
Well, whose fault is it? Whose fault is it that Sellers is drafting right next to me again in this draft?
That's the internet.
This is shenanigans.
Womp, womp.
Right, let's.
Well, first and foremost, yes, we're getting this draft started here. Who's going to share that draft board? Is that going to be you, Coop?
I got it. Yeah, we need the draft to actually pull up here.
All right,
gotta
starting in two,
that dark
1.
mode going.
While you're doing that, Kev, how are you, brother? What's going on? What's the news? Who's your favorite running back?
My favorite running back. I just actually said it about. I'll draft CFC. But you know what? Tony Pollard is my RB2. So, unfortunately, you know what? I was gonna think about going a little hyper fragile here, but I got the influencer 101, so had to go. Had to be a sheep.
Do you have any fears here of the buzz around Jonathan Taylor possibly going to Dallas? I drafted Tony Pollard last night in my dirty laundry draft. He fell to the second round to me, like late second round, and I scooped him up. I have no fears. You?
I don't have a lot of fears. I mean, I'm not one of the aren't you worried bros where, he could go here, he could go there. What, we were talking about for how long? 2 months now about Dalvin Cook going to Miami, and that never really materialized. So I'll weigh on it once it happens, but I'm not super worried. I'm just worried about what the team is right now. Not could they get this guy? Could they get that guy?
I mean, Howard, we did pull some information from Britt Flinn. She was hesitant to give it to us live on air, but believe it or not, Britt Flinn does not have Christian McCaffrey ranked number 1 for running back as of this moment, as of the last 30 minutes or so. Is that true, Britt?
It is true. Yeah. I'm glad that Sellers fell on the sword and took McCaffrey so that I could grab Bijan.
He's got your back in this draft. So last draft was about stealing all your picks. This draft, he's going to assist them all.
No concerns, Britt, that Peter King of NBC Sports says that people should be very careful about drafting Bijan Robinson because, quote unquote, there's a lot of mouths to feed in the Atlanta offense.
What?
You know what? There's a lot of mouths to feed, but it's like the Caesar's buffet. Shout out to Scott Frankel. There are a lot of mouths, but it literally is a buffet. Arthur Smith is not going to change what he does. They are still going to run the hell out of the ball. And Bijan is so efficient. He's going to get he's going to be fine. And like we talked about last show, I'm a little bit worried about McCaffrey splitting carries with Elijah Mitchell as long as he's healthy.
There it is, dude. Hey, so real quick, we're going to run through it. We got Kevin Tompkins picking at 1. We got Ann, that's Rowdy, picking at 2. Sellers at 3. Britt at 4. Hamburger, who just joined us for a real mock draft, at 5. Tank, I think this is his first one of these with us. He's a newcomer. Tank, thank you for joining us.
Coop, you know you're on the clock right now, don't you?
Yeah, I'm taking Cooper Kupp, and I'm taking
Just making sure. Just
Man,
making
I would
sure.
kill for Cooper Cup at 112.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to take Cooper Cup. Dude, do I go Cooper Cup and Amon-Ra St. Brown? No, it's half PPR. I'm going to take Cooper Cup and CeeDee Lamb. This game is easy. So that's that's pretty good. So yes, back to what I was doing. Lord Vader is a Redditor that's joining us. I believe it's his first one. Just Guessing, I believe, is also from Reddit. And then we have Boston's, Rotobuzz Guy, and myself. So pretty good squad here. We're giving, because it's draft week, we're giving first comers the first try. If it's your first time joining one of these, you get to join first. So if you want to draft with us tomorrow or Thursday at 2 to 3, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on the Discord. We'll get you in ahead of everybody else. And then we'll open the doors to the Anns and the Hamburglers and the Voitkos of the world and the Icy Through that have been doing a million of these with us. So it's first time special this week around.
Yeah, listen, we've got a great deal going on with Underdog right now. Again, if you just go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog, and that promo code alarm will get you in. The promo code BETTOR, BETTOR, it kind of still autofills that. That works too. And you can use that as well. But we're all about the alarm here right now. So that's what we're going to do. It's easier for you to remember. fantasyalarm.com/underdog, promo code alarm gets you that 100% deposit match up to $100, and that puts you in contention here. I mean, this is the $5 best ball draft that we're doing right now. You can do Best Ball Mania 4, which is $25 entries. So, I mean, listen, we are we're all in here. I mean, I think the four of us here are pretty addicted to Underdog fantasy drafts.
Pretty deep, dude. Pretty deep.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be exciting. At the end of the year, we're gonna go back and recap a lot of these. Check out, because I've been keeping a spreadsheet of everybody that's joined us for these #family drafts. So we're gonna go back through and recap a little bit, maybe see who fared the best, who pulled down the most rings. So it'll be cool, man. We're definitely gonna shout out the people that took down the most of these drafts. Even if it's me, it's probably gonna be me, but we'll probably pick whoever comes in second or whatever. We'll definitely shout them out too.
That's all I have to say about that.
Honestly, I might not even be in the most of these. The #family drafts. I think Chris Sellers might be in the most out of everyone.
It is very possible.
There you go, Coop. That's an olive branch to you.
Even look at you go. Okay, so we just talked. Well, Howard, I want to say we just talked about this on the mock show before, and I'm going to take CMC in this mock first because I like the. I'm a little worried about the running backs in the swing. Kev just did the opposite, and I kind of really like what you did there. So maybe you don't have to take CMC first because you're scared of the swing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of running back value.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the 101 just through the entire best ball kind of process there. I really like the 104 through 106, but when you can get two of these guys, I mean, even the anti-running back, communist here, I gotta say, getting Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs is pretty good value. The 2-3.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. And if you're drafting those guys, we can be confident. I mean, Derrick Henry, if you really think about it, go back and look at it. When was the last time Derrick Henry didn't finish top 5 in a half PPR format like this? We're talking years ago, man. Like, he's been pretty locked in, for better or for worse, as a top 5 guy, even when he's missing, time. So,
and I don't know if you heard, he plays the Texans in week 15 and 17.
Is he good against that team? We'll have to go back and check.
Right.
I just want to say I'm highly disappointed about everyone for letting I don't want to mispronounce the name, but the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes stack. I'm very disappointed.
I know. Yeah, you should call him Tank. So yeah, and I mean, he got Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, my guy too. I'm loving that. We got a couple stacks here. I also noticed Boss Tones came in, did AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I mean, right out of our mock draft, we go back into a best ball and we're back to Stack City, right?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask all three of you guys there, because I've got people who are hitting me up on the regular, about stacking in season long, and I'm like, it's just not something I want to do. But in best ball, I definitely look at it a lot differently. I'm curious as to how you guys think about it.
It can work out very well or very badly.
Yeah.
Because if one little piece goes wrong, then your entire team is crushed. And I always use this example of the 2019 Dallas Cowboys when I had Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and even Zeke. I had a piece of that offense. They were crazy. And the next year I was like, I'm going to do the same thing. Then Dak broke his leg and it was shambles, complete shambles.
Was that best ball or season long?
No, it was season long.
Ugh, yeah. See, I don't stack in season long. What about you, Kev?
See, I'm fine with it, but not going overboard because I think it's a good way to make a correlated bet on an offense. Like in the Kings Classic, I took Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert, and Keenan Allen. Maybe that's going overboard, but that's a big chunk of the Chargers offense that we know is going to be passing a lot and going to be very productive. So I do like that, and that's something where I didn't set out to do that, but it just kind of worked itself out that way. So like making – I'm not going to go overboard and stack like Joe Burrow with, or, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, and Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to go ahead and do that, but like a skinny stack or maybe two guys, one later, one earlier. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I have a pretty clear policy on this, and it's the same as my policy on healthy players that we consider quote unquote injury prone. So I treat the healthy players that are injury prone the same way I treat stacks, where I only use it as a tiebreaker if I have two guys not only in the same tier, but I can't really differentiate between the two. I will never draft a worse player over a better player to complete a stack, or because I heard a rumor that he's going to get hurt even though he's healthy. I'll only use it as a tiebreaker. So that's where I live on it. If I'm sitting there and I don't care between, if Dak Prescott or Deshaun Watson, I'll take one based on a stack if it's that close for me, but I'm never going to skip over a player I think is better. I think you lose all value doing that. So that's my personal policy on those. If a guy is actually hurt, then that's the same thing. I'll include that, but I'm not going to play the guessing game on injuries, and I'm also not going to draft worse players just to stack things up.
Gotcha. Well, all right. So, and you know what? I got it in the chat right here. Sellers using a complete misconception or a misnomer, should I say. In season long, I like stacking QB RB. Well, first and foremost, if you're doing a quarterback with a pass catcher, that's a pairing. That's not a stack. A stack is when you're doing something like QB RB wide receiver, QB 2 wide receivers, QB wide receiver tight end. Like a stack is 3 players or more. A pairing, which makes sense. You know what? Yes, if I've got Justin Herbert and I want to pair him with Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, yes, that works. If I want to pair Lamar Jackson with Mark Andrews, which I was doing in the Kings Classic, that's something that I'm perfectly fine with. Stacking is 3 or more players from the same offense, QB and whoever they've got out there. And that's fine for a best ball tournament for me, but it's not something that I want to do in season long because again, if they have a bad week, your entire fantasy team shits the bed for that week. And then you're going to end up losing. And then where are you at? You know what I'm saying? Oh, did I just channel my inner Corey
I was
Parsons?
going to say you channeled Corey.
I'm channeling my inner Corey Parsons. I love this.
By the way, as you said that, I tried to do some synergy there. As you were talking about pairing Justin Herbert with Mike Williams. Justin Herbert with Mike Williams at the 4-5.
There it is. Scott Frankel with a good point here. Who are you and what did you do with Kevin Tompkins? Only 2 wide receivers in 5 rounds. Are you feeling okay, dude?
I got some work to do. Let's just say that.
Listen, I like you mixing it up, man. I think that is it's a quality move. It's an absolute quality move. I'm fine with, like trying different strategies. Listen, I say this to people all the time. Now, this is best ball, and best ball is a totally different animal. But when you're playing in like season long and you start doing mock drafts, I always do a mock draft or a couple of mock drafts before my like main drafts. And I don't take a single player who I've taken before in the preseason. Because I want to see, am I the one jacking up their ADP? Am I the one reaching, too high for these guys? And I always end up doing that. So that way, when it comes time for my regular drafts, I can see exactly what the public is genuinely thinking. And it's not just, against regular ADP.
I've always wanted to do one of those on Underdog where I go in and just take all the players that I don't like that I'm fading. But my concern is that what if I win $3 million? And then I need to explain that I'm so bad at fantasy football that I just took every player I was fading, and that's how I won.
And
So,
and then you got to do the podcast circuit too. You got to explain all that.
I definitely would never do that on a stream. You can't do that on a stream because then there's proof that you did it. Yeah, right. Maybe I'll quietly do it one of these nights when I'm sitting there with the baby. Just take the old anti-Coop team and see what happens. But
right, like I can't draft 0 RB all the time. Like I love Billy Joel's The Stranger, but sometimes you got to mix up a little 52nd Street.
That's
Ooh,
right.
Whoa. Scenes from an Italian restaurant or Big Shot, Kev? Which one?
It's scenes always.
Big Shot.
Big fan.
Miles Sanders, Howard.
New York. You were ingrained with Billy Joel.
Howard, you just stole my boy.
Yeah, I know, man.
Again,
a lesson in learning about who you're drafting next to and who's behind you closer to the end. Like, did I think Miles Sanders was going to come back to me because Sauce McFloss only had 1 RB on his roster?
Not gonna happen. Yeah. So the thing is, I've been using up until that point. I was using a strategy that I just came up with. It's called having the best 4-player start that anyone's ever had in the draft ever, and it was so good. And you just took the only guy I had in my queue. So now, out of spite, I'm not drafting any running back there. I took none. I will take none. That would have been great. Yeah, I knew that wouldn't be allowed. But we talked about this briefly on the show before, Howard, with the mock. Is that like it is good to do mocks with the family because it's almost like drafting with your hometown people. They know you, they know who you like. They're willing to spike pick you because it's funny. Like that's what's great about the family versus complete. You don't want to draft with the people you're drafting with. At home, right? You don't want to show your hand, but you also don't want to draft with complete strangers. That's why these family drafts are so good because like you get a mix of both.
Yeah. I did a draft last night, the Dirty Laundry League. It's 2 conferences, 12-team conferences. They work as separate drafts, and then week 16, the 2 conference champions play for the ultimate championship. And so everybody, who's in my draft, they read all of our stuff over at Fantasy Alarm. They listen to you guys on Lightning Round. They listen to you guys on all your shows and podcasts that we do. And they, for lack of a better way to say it, put your earmuffs on if you're sensible or if you're sensitive. They fucked me. Fucked me in the worst way, man. They started spite picking. They started taking all my guys, like right down to the point where my friend Rhea sniped the Jets defense from me, like 2 rounds early, just to be up yours, Bender. And I was like, you got to be shitting me here.
Yeah, she took a bad defense just to be mean to you, huh?
The Jets defense is not bad.
I'm kidding. I like the Jets. The Patriots fan in me had to just throw something out there, but no, I like them.
Oh man,
amazing turnaround because Robert Saleh came in. Not only did he come in and have to bring in his guys and do his thing, that was a full overhaul, right, Howard? They went from 3-4 to 4-3, or was it the other way around? Yeah. So
just a nice little revamping of what they were doing. They, it's just they cater to the personnel that they've got. I love what's happening. I'm trying not to become like that huge, like the homer that most Cowboys fans are, Yeah, Britt, don't shake your head at me. You, Bowden, Ronis.
See, I can't get away from him, dude.
Corey Parsons, Jed Piacenti, Glenn Colton, Michael Fabiano, like all of these people, they like haunt my dreams with their homerism.
Can't get away, dude. There's something that it is funny that like a lot of these big media personalities like Britt Flinn going on ESPN, they just go right for America's team, dude. They care about the star on the helmet. It's like, it's like it's like a big bug zapper for stars.
Listen, I watched the Cowboys when all we had was antenna. And as a kid, I always wondered why it was snowing in Texas because the reception was horrendous. So I don't want to be accused. You didn't come the big
shot route.
Why does somebody keep going shh in front of the microphone?
What?
The snow?
Yeah, no, it was,
Thank you, Howard.
I got it.
I barely landed. Holy shit.
You made it.
Landed right
You did
here. Landed right here.
Oh man.
So, how does everybody like their team so far? Let's give the people. This isn't just a great opportunity to draft alongside these beautiful people that are here with me, but this is also a chance to, maybe learn a little something there. Like Kev, broken wrist for Jackson Smith and the Jigba, and you're like, I don't care. He's still a 6th round pick for me.
With the receivers on the board, I'm fine with taking a shot on him because he's my wide receiver 3. So I'm totally fine with, even if he doesn't come back week 1, he can come back week 3, 4, and still, kind of, I don't know if he's going to take over the offense, but at least be a huge part of it. So I'm fine. There's no chance about getting him on the next wrap, but I took Cam Akers as well, a little modified hyper fragile. I am done drafting running backs. So and don't worry, I'm not going to be taking any more running backs from you. I am legitimately done.
That's fair. I think the thing with wide receivers, especially rookie wide receivers, well, honestly, really just rookie wide receivers, is that you always have to leave room for the two far ends of the spectrum. You have to leave room for the fact that they're completely terrible, which is like N'Keal Harry. But you also have to leave room for the possibility that they're just crazy special and there's nothing going to stop them from taking over, which, like Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, there is a world where Jackson Smith and Jigba is just so damn good that they couldn't possibly take him off the field. That's why Kev taking him where he did there. I don't mind it if you've already got a couple guys to start already. You know what I mean? And this is best ball, so who cares, right? If he's not good.
I mean, I would care if he's not good in a 6th rounder.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well, it is.
I mean, I care, but I care a little bit less than if I took him at the 4 or 5 turn, which I would have.
I'm on the clock, huh?
What you doing here, Coop?
Trying to find the tab where I have the draft.
Decisions.
Trying to get a name in there that's not Dallas Goedert as quickly as possible. All right, there we go.
Oh no, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. What are you going to do?
Leave me alone. All right.
How did I have 3 running backs before Coop had 2, by the way?
Oh, wait. Did I auto draft somebody?
Did you? Did you mean to take James Conner?
I guess so.
I meant to take James Conner. Who did I take before that?
Michael Pittman.
I didn't want to take Michael Pittman. I wanted to take a guy that Howard likes. Howard didn't even take him, so not even going to mention him. Not even going to name drop him until someone takes him.
A long way back.
I actually like Michael Pittman. What a great pick by me. I'm having this fantastic.
Talk yourself into it. Yeah,
I took Michael Pittman in the mock. I took Michael Pittman in the mock draft just before this, so a lot of exposure, fully exposed.
All right, Britt, it's coming up on you in a couple of picks here. Talk to me here about your team. Do you want to say anything mean about Sellers because he's sniping your guys? I love the Bijan start. I'm in on that.
I'm looking here whether or not to continue my stack and fill out another position since I've already got Lawrence and Ridley, but I'm just really not in on this player. So I may end up taking your guy and just continuing to build out.
Which guy?
Or maybe Mike. I don't know. I'm deciding.
You can't break the trend of RBQB that's going right now.
Keep that train going.
You have to. Right. You can't be the one that breaks that, dude. The patterns.
Yeah, you're now obligated. I mean, you've committed. You're pot committed.
Well, let's see what Tank does. It's too aesthetically pleasing.
Yep, it does look pretty.
Tank. All right, Tank.
There we go.
Let's go.
QB time. Let's go.
Hamburger.
Broken.
Hamburger already had Burrow though.
Damn it, Hamburger. Robble.
Man. I really don't want to take.
Now you can take 2
Washington Commanders. So I think, I'm just gonna go a safe route here.
Oh, there you go, Elijah Moore. All right, break it down for us, Britt. Talk to us about your
so love Bijan, then got Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, banking on that JSN injury. DJ Moore has looked decent despite Justin Fields' poor quarterback play. Dotson looked really great last night. Elijah Moore is going to be working out of the slot. So even if Deshaun Watson's bad and has to kind of dump it off, he's going to, be in line for a bunch of targets. And then David Montgomery, I think, he's gonna be in there. I know that his line's only set for 6.5, but he's gonna get a ton of carries. I think Gibbs is gonna get the pass down work, and it could be very similar to what we saw in New Orleans, 5 years ago.
half PPR best ball is
Yeah.
the land of David Montgomery, right? Like if you're going to take him anywhere, this is the spot because you don't have to worry about playing the guessing game of where and when he scores touchdowns. You just get them all. And if he goes out and has, 10 carries for 28 yards, you don't have to worry about that game. That's not going to be in your lineup. So this is the spot where I like David Montgomery best in this format.
And it's such a perfectly built anchor build. Like it looks so pretty. I love it. Oh man, Sellers, I hate you.
I know, that's the boy right there. I was hoping to get him. He's going right after Goddard though. I mean, what are you gonna do?
9th round Goddard. Come on.
So
yeah, I probably should have taken Goddard instead of Cousins there, but I was kind of worried that some people were going to start like the Jefferson owner would grab Cousins and try to stack.
I want to say,
excuse me. See, I'm all choked up here because Rowdy took Cortland Sutton, and I'm
I
he wasn't getting back. I was going to take him. He wasn't getting back to you.
Right. Now I want to say there's a player on the board here that's going to go soon, I imagine, or at some point soon. That usually doesn't ever make it out of Arkansas, but just made it past both Sellers and Britt twice, despite being close to his ADP. Do you think that the ADP, I'm just going to name drop him right now because I don't care. Do you think the ADP for Treylon Burks is still too high after the injury, or where are you guys feeling on that, Britt?
No, I think the overcorrection is actually a little bit too much. You
guys both passed on him. You took Elijah Moore over him.
Do you know
2 weeks ago you were not taking Elijah Moore over Treylon Burks?
Again, if you read my article about how to manage too many leagues, part of that article is to diversify. And I have a ton of Burks, so I'm trying to diversify.
I don't diversify on air.
Not on air.
Not on air. On air, I'm planting flags and ripping off buttons, and we're going with the gang. And I'll quietly diversify in the middle of the night, like I said with my with that other team that I'm going to draft with all the guys I'm fading. Now I kind of really want to do it. But yeah, no.
Which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which way do I go here? I'm so torn. But you know what? I mean, since we started talking about it, I might as well just do it, right?
Right.
Just take Treylon Burks.
I would have taken him there. I got to get this fella here, and
Coop's not giving up on Michael Thomas ever. He's Rick-rolling Michael Thomas.
This is the year.
So I've noticed Coop has 6 wide receivers through 10 rounds right now. I mean, he wants to draft like me so much. He took my name in the stream platform.
That's right, dude. Does it still say Kevin? It says Kevin Tompkins.
It does.
I mean,
I'm Howard.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Kevin Tompkins and the other Kevin Tompkins.
Yeah. Well,
I'm Kevin Tompkins too, legally.
You're not drafting like Kevin Tompkins. I feel like of the two of us, you need to change your name.
Okay. I'll do it.
I have the real Kevin Tompkins team here, where my RB2 is James Conner in the 8th round.
By the way, double pairing from me. See, everybody just missed that. I got Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson because I'm drinking that Kool-Aid, and a little Kirk Cousins, Jordan Addison, because what the hell? Why not?
There we go.
You know, one of my favorite Best Ball Mania 4 teams. I paired CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and paired Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers. And that was one of the very early ones that I did. And looking back on that team, I think it's got some juice behind it. I'm really high on Rodgers and Wilson. I think they're going to go places.
Scamp in the chat. Look at me. I am the Kevin Tompkins now.
You know what I have to say? Listen, like I was very reluctant to watch Hard Knocks, and I was very reluctant to really sink my teeth into it because I kind of figured it was going to be a lot of fluffing Aaron Rodgers and, just build with hype. You know where I got caught up in it and where it really started to affect me was the whole bit about Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Last year's offensive and defensive rookies of the year practicing against each other on the regular, becoming best friends. And really turning things, to the point where they're each teaching the other a lot more about their respective positions. And I think that to me, that goes a long, long way. That actually, to me, that goes longer a much longer way than worrying about, Aaron Rodgers and his no-look passes.
If Belichick saw that happening, he would probably trade one of them for like a second-round pick. He'd be like, you can't have this kind of camaraderie in this organization, this business.
Sorry, Ann. I took one more running back. Now I'm done.
Jalen Warren.
Warren's looked good. I just don't know
I
if
guess
Canada's
so.
going
Howard,
to.
this is your first Hard Knocks, right? You said you hadn't watched it in the past?
Yes, wait. I would like for Britt to finish her thought there before we go back to an annoying Hard Knocks conversation.
I don't even remember. It's fine.
I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid, so forget Hard Knocks. It's all hype. Frankel says it's best. That was 3 minutes of 3 minutes of the whole thing was Wilson and Sauce Gardner, and the rest has been a love story to Aaron Rodgers. 100%. I knew it was going to be like that, and so I'm just there with it. I don't love it.
All right.
Yeah, is Kevin feeling okay? So many running backs.
A little hot under the collar here, not gonna lie. But now I am done. I guess taking Cam Akers gave me license to take a fourth because I took it late.
Yeah. Howard, are you buying the Jalen Warren steam? I mean, the metrics have been there, and he looked kind of good this past week, of course.
I'll handcuff him to Najee if I get the opportunity to do it, but I'm not. I'm genuinely not looking because I know, we know the scheme that Tomlin likes to run, right? And while Matt Canada, is trying to, mix in some more pre-snap motion and try and get different personnel guys on the field, this is still like it's a traditional offense. It's a traditional scheme. And Tomlin he's always been more of a one-back guy. And so, Warren might get mixed in, but am I worried that he's going to kill the value for Najee? No, I'm not worried. How about the rest of you kids?
Yeah, I think Najee's still the guy. Canada's committed. Warren looks good, but Najee is the guy who's good in pass pro, who's that all-around back. He's been in that system longer. I don't see Canada straying away from him.
Yeah, I did a full write-up very recently on why I like Najee still, and I did a little study where I looked at all the situations where teams were in 2-minute drill and
Coop.
Najee, I know. Najee Harris got
both those running backs you just took, Coop.
I know, pretty excited.
I don't mean to interrupt your thought, but
and I even had a third one that I considered there. But I needed both those guys. I had been cosplaying as Kevin Tompkins for far too long. So Raheem Mostert, I mean, he's looked great this offseason, and they're treating him like the RB1. So we'll see. But yeah, I pulled that up, and basically every 2-minute drill, target or carry, went to Najee Harris. Not only Jalen Warren, but no other back on the team, not Anthony McFarland, any of these guys, got a single touch during those crunch time situations. And then the coach just comes out and says that he's the starting back just this week. So I'm not worried at all about Najee, but you're right. If something were to happen, there are certain situations where the backup, you can't count on them to do anything. Like we talked about, if Tony Pollard goes down, I don't know if there's anybody where I'm just plugging them right in my lineup, but Tyler Algier, Elijah Mitchell, and then now all of a sudden Jalen Warren, I actually feel pretty good about plugging those guys right in if the starter goes down, which there's something to be said about that, right? A.J. Dillon, if Aaron Jones goes down, I think I'd put in that category. Anybody else in that category where you're like, if the starter goes down, I'm putting them right in my lineup.
Tank Bigsby.
Ooh, Tank. That he's gained some steam this offseason too.
Yeah, we were talking about that at Lightning Round about Kenny Gainwell. Like we were talking about Swift and Rashad Penny all season, but who knew when the host peeled back the curtain on curtain number 3, it was Kenny Gainwell.
Oh, crazy. Well, he's passed the eye test. So,
yep. We saw him creep up last year, like towards the tail end of the season. You watch what his snap count was, you watch what his touches looked like. And it was definitely, I mean, Miles Sanders was the guy, but you still saw Gainwell mixed in, a substantial amount. So when they brought in, Penny and they brought in Swift, it didn't really move the needle that much for me because I'm just not a fan of either one of those guys. I think both of those guys are nothing more than a, glorified third down pass catching running back
on a team that doesn't target the running back.
on a team that does not target the running back. No doubt. There was something else I was going to ask you. Oh, well, you know what? I want to go back to the Raheem Mostert conversation. I'm curious as to, what the rest of you guys think. Obviously, Coop, you're in on him. He has looked good. But, when we're talking about, like, when Dalvin Cook signed with the Jets, I was like, well, Miami and Raheem Mostert's, and Jeff Wilson's, their ADP did not shoot up. Everybody was in on A-Chain, who now messed up his shoulder. He's considered week to week now. I never really was like, A-Chain's the guy, because I know that Mike McDaniel wants to, rotate in his running backs. But I mean, he's got the history with utilizing Raheem Mostert a ton. Do you guys think that Mostert, let's just say he stays healthy for the majority of the season? Is he the main, could he be that main guy if they want to bring along A-Chain slowly?
I mean, that's my thought, that they like what they had, right, with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, and Mostert's been injury prone. So they say, hey, let's just grab the next closest thing to Mostert and we'll have him available to mix in there or use if the guy gets hurt. I mean, that's a real possibility. So I like A-Chain in Dynasty, but Mostert could end up being a steal if he's going to be the starting running back, running behind fullback Alec Ingold and, left tackle Teron Armstead. I mean, that's a beautiful spot for production. And to answer Scott Frankel's question real quick, Njoku, he at least has a path to be a top 2 target on that team for the entire season. I like Chig in his profile, but, it's Burks and Hopkins. Same thing with Freiermuth. He's kind of not a great quarterback and a lot going on over there. So I still have Njoku ahead of those guys. I have Kincaid ahead, but that's where I'm at. But Britt, Kev, back to the Mostert question. What do you guys think? Of those 3, do you have him first or would you rather have A-Chain?
I mean, I think that Mostert and Wilson split almost 50-50 with everything last year, with carries, with yardage. I think that A-Chain profiles more as a pass catcher and like a little speedster out of the back, but his athletic profile as far as size really concerns me because like Howard said, he's already messed up his shoulder and it's only preseason. He might only be a special teamer guy this year unless something happens to Wilson or Mostert. And right now I think that McDaniel's just going to roll with the 2 guys that he knows.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting, just throughout like best ball season, Jeff Wilson and Mostert were like 2 of the most underpriced assets that you could throughout the entire draft board. And then A-Chain was going ahead of them, which I guess you can make the case about, everybody loves the sexy young upside. But when all is said and done, it's going to be Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert kind of carrying the rock. Britt said she's 50-50 pretty much last season. So, and to play the Andrew Cooper bingo card, if Tyreek Hill gets tackled at the 1 yard line or it's a pass interference, who's getting that goal line carry? It's not A-Chain, it's not Mostert, it's not Tua with concussion concerns, it's Jeff Wilson. So there's room for both those guys in the offense. And it's the most puzzling thing this entire, best ball drafting season, why Wilson and Mostert were going as low as they have been.
Right. Well, because rookie shiny. That's why.
Yeah. And I love shiny rookies just as much as the next person. Don't get me wrong.
I love them. I love them.
After all that Jeff Wilson talk, had to take him.
I almost took him
right
at the turn.
They're seeping into our heads. I've got Burks now because we were talking about him. You got Jeff Wilson there. They're playing with us here. They're playing chess while you and I are playing checkers, Britt.
Oh, come on,
Ann. Are we outsmarting
Ann, what are you doing to me?
Sellers, classic Sellers, drinking the Cowboys Kool-Aid with that Deuce Vaughn pick.
Oh,
there it is.
Deuce Vaughn. He's such a cute little cutie, right? He's a little teeny little guy. He's right here in my pocket.
I bet he would love hearing you say that, dude.
He's just getting way too steamed up for me. Way too steamed.
Way too steamed up. I agree.
Like it.
It's all right. I ended up getting the top 2 receiving options in Carolina.
Just wait until his dad sends him to his room and makes him spend time in the practice squad.
I mean,
wow, a little Carolina stack there, Kev.
You like that? A little cheapo stack?
They're like free.
Yeah.
It's free real estate.
They're worth
free real estate.
what you pay for them.
Would you, I know that he wasn't available to you, but would you have rather had Chark or Thielen, Kev?
Probably Chark. He's looked better this offseason. So is Mingo. I was actually eyeing up the Sam Howell, Curtis Samuel stack, and then Ann decided to rip my heart out from my chest. So
Yeah, I've been pulling up the numbers on Thielen. Thielen has quietly been playing big slot for the Panthers, and that's it. Last week he only played one snap out wide. He played every other snap in the slot, and then obviously came out with the rest of the starters. But it looks like they're going to use him kind of like Eric Decker, almost like where he's like just a big slot and maybe doesn't even play in 3 wide receiver sets. Which, I mean, for a guy, it'd be kind of smart to do that. Keep some wear and tear off a guy that's been injury prone and that maybe has lost a step. So it could be Chark and Mingo on the outside with Thielen just coming in for pass downs to play slot. Would be kind of interesting.
yeah, I thought it was really interesting when I was actually checked my TV because I did watch some of that Panthers Giants game. I thought something was going on with my DVR. It's going really slow, and then I realized it was real time. It was Adam Thielen running. So
Oh,
yeah, the
come
slow-mo
on.
I thought so.
Adam
I thought we were
Thielen's
going
mom watches
0.25.
this show, Kev.
Boy, I
Adam
really
Thielen's
couldn't-
mom watches this show. She's texted me before.
Adam
about
Thielen
it.
lives
Come
like
on.
an hour
You gotta be
away
nice.
from me in Detroit Lakes. So I can't slander Carson Wentz anymore. I'm sure not slandering Trey Lance. I think everybody in the national media has already done that enough. So sorry, Adam. You're next up.
Trey Lance slandered
really
himself.
could have used. I actually had Juwan Johnson and Hurts teed up, both, and Zach Ertz, not Hurts. Ertz and Juwan teed up there. Dude, Zach Ertz is pretty much back. They're saying like he's gonna be practicing and stuff. Who knows? I mean, now that there's no DeAndre Hopkins, maybe Ertz is just the guy. Everyone was talking about Trey McBride, but Ertz has played for this coach before, and he's out there. So I don't know. Zach Ertz could be a nice little best ball sneaky move.
Hey, I've got news.
Okay.
Matt Canada has said that Najee Harris is unequivocally going to be the Steelers' RB1 this season.
Yeah.
Head coaches have never
Unequivocally.
lied in the NFL.
He's not. He's
Well,
an
Matt
offensive
Canada's not a
coordinator.
head coach. He's sworn
He's
to
an
tell
OC.
the
He's not a
Blame
he's sworn to
Canada.
tell the truth.
Ah.
Blame Canada.
Hey, Coop, can we scroll that draft board down a little bit?
Only if you can sing it.
Yeah.
Can you sing
You
it?
can scroll it down. Do.
That could be the headline that gets Matt Canada fired.
Kevin,
if
can
we're
I get
not
a
being
couple of-
honest here? They were already calling for it last year.
I want a couple of bars. I want a couple of bars from Kevin on Blame Canada. I want to hear this.
I didn't do it at
Come
the
on.
expo. I can't sing. That's not. There's not enough alcohol in the world.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember some of the lyrics. There's one that's like they bring up like a professional ice skater. Brian
Boitano.
Boitano.
Don't get canceled.
yeah. There's the edited version of that song isn't worth singing.
No, it's
That's
definitely
true.
not. As a reminder to everybody out there watching right now, we are doing these best ball drafts, little $5 best balls over on Underdog Fantasy. Right now, we're doing it today, and then we're going to do another one on Wednesday. We're going to do another one on Thursday. So if you're just catching us for the first time, we thank you for watching. I hope you smash that like and subscribe button on our YouTube page. But more importantly, we are giving very, very special treatment to first-timers who have never played on Underdog before. So if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, you haven't played on there before, go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use the promo code ALARM. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $100. And then hit one of us up here. All our Twitter handles are right here in front of you. Just hit one of us up. Let us know that you deposited and that it's your first time. And we're going to get you into a draft. It'll be, again, 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursday as well. So you guys want in on it. Again, fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Geez, how many times do I have to say this? fantasyalarm.com/underdog, promo code ALARM. That's where you got to go. Whew.
It's like when you say something so much that it stops sounding like a word.
Oh my God! Somebody hit me with the craziest tongue twister ever. It's the most simple one ever. Have you ever tried to say railroad over and over as fast as you can?
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Let's go one at a time. Britt, you first.
Railroad.
No.
No. You got to do as many as you can. Go first.
AI gonna save you.
Railroad.
Too slow. You gotta go fast. Howard, you give it a try.
Railroad.
Dude, I've tried it so many times, and I get worse and worse every time. Railroad. I know. I tried it so many times, I literally just sound like a dog.
Yeah.
Now. Railroad. Dude, it is. Like, and once the more you try it, your brain just turns into.
This is going off the railroad.
Yeah, you give it a try.
This is what happens with the last 2 rounds of a best ball draft, right?
Yeah, I will say I'll save Kev from saying railroad by the reverse railroading of Kev. I'll say that I love Ant's Michael Wilson pick for the Cardinals. I've been I just did a write-up. It's on fantasyalarm.com. It's breaking down the entire week 2 of fantasy of the preseason, but I also kind of look retroactively at week 1 as well to give you an idea of what's going on. And Michael Wilson is playing pretty much entirely in two wide receiver sets, and Rondell Moore is kind of the odd man out. So this guy, I mean, he has 30 pounds on the next biggest guy on the team, Greg Dortch and Marquise Brown and Rondell Moore, and he's got 4 inches on the next biggest guy, and he basically is playing split end now, and Rondell Moore is coming in to play slot. So I mean, who knows what Colt McCoy is going to look like or whatnot, but he could be an every down player right off the rip. So Michael Wilson, I'm moving up in my rankings for sure.
Yeah, Moore's playing like primarily slot right now, and yeah, the worry was like, will they throw Zach Pascal in there, because it is a group of undersized wide receivers, and Zach Pascal might be like 6 foot 200.
Quietly kind of, yeah. I thought that he was a small guy, but he's not, huh?
No, I mean, land of the Giants, Zach Pascal compared to these guys.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, Michael Wilson, man, as a rookie, and again, he's a double wild card because yes, he's a rookie. He also suffered a serious injury at Stanford and kind of missed multiple years there. So he popped early on, and then we didn't really even get to see him. So we really have no idea who Michael Wilson is, but the Cardinals' new regime felt like using a 3rd round pick on him. So they liked what they saw. Hard to argue. The floor obviously is low for a guy that played at Stanford and didn't really play much, but the ceiling of a guy that can play a full snap share as a rookie, I'm intrigued.
Well, Rondell Moore can only have so many passes behind the line of scrimmage before he gets replaced with somebody else.
You got to be able to block on run plays if you want to play every down. I think that's the problem that Rondell Moore inevitably runs into.
Yep.
And Tank Dell.
All right, take us. No, stop it.
I'm going to outsource this. Do I take the wide receiver or do I take the tight end?
Tight end.
I haven't even been paying attention to your team. So
tight end. Let's see who Mr. Irrelevant is. Come on.
Cole Turner.
Ooh.
Hey, we took him in that
like
one of those other drafts.
We did. The wide receiver, by the way, who is Trey Palmer, by the way, for Tampa.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he looked good. He made a nice catch this week. But all the backup wide receivers, the backup tight ends last night looked great, dude. Isaiah Likely, Cole Turner, Charlie Kohler. I mean, they're hoarding them over there.
Yeah.
The ones who aren't really tight ends, but they just make them tight ends when they come to the
by
NFL.
Name only.
Washington has 1 tight end on the roster that actually played tight end full-time in college. Logan Thomas is a quarterback. John Bates is the one that actually played tight end. Yeah. Logan Thomas is a quarterback. Cole Turner was a wide receiver. Amari Rogers was a quarterback, and Curtis Hodges was a wide receiver. They're not interested in drafting real tight ends whatsoever.
Yep.
Shout out Curtis Hodges. All right, so let's take a little peek around this board here. Tompkins and me, we've already talked about our drafts, how we kind of went reverse what we usually do. Howard, walk us through this. Though you have a lot of the usual suspects there. Our boy Keenan Allen there, Miles Sanders, but Saquon in the first round. I mean, kind of just chalk, right, Howard?
I think it's chalk. Absolutely. Listen, I've got Saquon. If I can start off any draft, and I mean any draft, with either Saquon, Chubb, or Bijan Robinson, I'm a happy camper. And it doesn't matter whether it's season long or it's best ball. Those are like, 3 of my guys. I mean, yeah, listen, I was first in a draft in another league yesterday, and I ended up taking McCaffrey there, just for for getting the running back and deviating from the Jefferson and the Chase action that I've done from that first position. But I mean, I think for me, those are the running backs towards the tail end of the draft. If Saquon, Chubb, or Bijan falls to me, I'm in there. I'm 100% in there. Then I was trying to, usually I go, a little bit more running back heavy. So I wanted to see what happened. If I took Wilson, if I took Keenan Allen, if I went with, a couple of wideouts, earlier than I usually do. And then what I did also was I took in those middle rounds there, round 6 through, where am I? 6 through 12. I never went back to the running back position. And that's a rarity for me. And so I ended up, grabbing a bunch of those mid-tier wideouts and my QBs. I felt pretty good about it. I mean, I still don't like, I don't like the back end of my running back room. I'm not going to put my trust in Zamir White or Deonta Foreman, but for my top 3 picks there, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We talked about how David Montgomery is very, very format specific and good for this format. Another guy that you drafted that, I mean, if you're talking half PPR best ball, Brandon Cooks, like this is the place for him, right? Like big chunk play, touchdown play, speedy outside guy. This is the land of Brandon Cooks, which is part of the reason why, like, Amon-Ra St. Brown is good in every format. But if there was a format where he's not as good, it's one where it's half PPR and you really need spike weeks. He's not really that guy. He's more of a death by 1,000 cuts. So I love the Brandon Cooks pick there.
Yeah, nice little floor there. How about the rest
look
of
at
you
some
guys?
Some of these other ones. I want to look at the group here: Lord Vader, Just Guessing, and Bosstones, because those are some new names. A couple from Reddit, a couple from the one. I think one's from our Discord. Out of those guys, I know for a fact, Lord Vader. I believe this is his very, very first one. Either him or Just Guessing. So. Of those teams, which one do you like best of the 8, 9, 10 spot?
All right.
They're all pretty good.
Yeah. I mean,
I do like Bosstones because he took a bunch of running backs, but he took them early and never went back to the position, and then still got AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Hopkins, still did pretty decent at wide receiver with some correlation. So that would be my pick. I like that.
Let me see what else he did. I like that so he had his 3 wide receivers you expect to be in the lineup, and then he went safe with Tyler Boyd and turned right around and went ceiling with Rashee Rice. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's structurally, that's the most sound team, because a lot of people take running backs and then just continue to keep taking them, where if you take 5 in your first 9 rounds, there's almost not any reason to take any more.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. With Just Guessing, I like his start, but the Anthony Richardson, Matthew Stafford, CJ Stroud kind of worries me. Like, I feel that quarterback maybe was punted a little too far down the board.
I fell for this. I got to ask you guys, because I put myself in the same situation where if I wait on my second quarterback, I find myself reaching for a third one, and I never quite love it. We did the same thing where we didn't exactly reach, but we took a third one in the last round. And sometimes I wonder if it's necessary. Like I have.
Yeah. Are they ever even going to crack your lineup?
Yeah. I have Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill. Did I need Ryan Tannehill at all?
I would argue that in the last 4 rounds, the most optimal pick you can make is either a quarterback or tight end, because what are the chances that those guys you can put in zeros in your lineup versus dart throw running backs, dart throw wide receivers that might not even see 50% of the routes. So.
And a tight end, all you need is a touchdown that week, right? Like Michael Mayer, as much as we talk about it for redraft, we're not really going after him because he's not a top 2 target. He's looking like the starter. Like he started with the starters, and then Austin Hooper came in and played after. So looks like he's wrapping up that gig where I'm going to start in best ball. I'm going to start drafting him too, because again, all you care about is the touchdown or not, right?
And I'll give you one more. Sorry. I just want to say real quick, King Capital, who won the regular season $1 million last year in Best Ball Mania 3, took last round Davis Mills, and Davis Mills cracked his lineup in week 7 in week 14. So that those picks can save you.
$1 million pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I probably should have gone with a third QB, you know? I mean, Rodgers, Cousins, I mean, old, possibly broken. Yeah.
Nah, you'll be fine with those
They're
guys.
solid.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win the whole thing with this one right here, just so you guys all know.
This is the
all right.
one.
That's actually going to do it for us here today on Alarm Fantasy Football. Again, huge thank you to everybody who joined us in this draft. Again, if you want to do one of these drafts with us tomorrow or Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, all right, if you're new to Underdog, go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog. Use the promo code ALARM for a 100% deposit match up to $100. And then message us on Twitter, and we'll take care of that. We'll get you into one of these drafts tomorrow or Thursday. So it's going to wrap it up here for us, for Britt Flinn, for Kev Tompkins, for Andrew Cooper. I'm Howard Bender. This has been Alarm Fantasy Football. We'll catch you next time.